Okay, so Anne, I will let you take it away.
Okay, thank you. So yes, I'm Anne Wolverton. I'm the Community Resources Connector at United Way of Treasure Valley. And for those of you that maybe aren't as familiar with United Way, it's a nonprofit here in Boise that helps bring funding in and then disperses it out into the community to nonprofits who need it the most. So that's kind of the basic model. A lot of people know United Way as a fundraiser, but we also have a lot of great initiatives that we focus on here in the Treasure Valley, like Find Help Idaho and like our community schools program. And Find Help Idaho is what I'm here to talk about today. So if you've heard about it before, Find Help Idaho is a free place where you can search for resources that can help you with anything that you need when you're looking for free or reduced cost services and programs. So healthcare, food, housing, job resources, legal resources, all of it is on Find Help Idaho. And I thought we could start today by just looking at a few scenarios. These are real world examples of things that we've seen at United Way of Treasure Valley. We've obviously changed some of the details and the names, but in order to participate, I'm hoping that everyone has a cell phone that they might be able to use. You maybe put them away because you're good students, but if you want to grab your cell phone now, go ahead and do so. And then I'm going to pull up our activity. Okay, is everyone seeing my screen? Perfect. And so if you go to menti.com on your cell phone, just in the browser, and then it's going to ask you to enter a code. And that code is 7658298. And that should enter you into the session. Your phone will match this title screen. And everyone give me kind of just like a thumbs up when you've gotten there. Okay, we got 2. Tiffany and Lauren, have you been able to get in? Not yet? Okay, Tiffany's in.
Says can't be found, which is
Okay.
weird. It doesn't allow me to put spaces in there, so I'm not sure.
Oh,
7658298, right?
Try not to put spaces. And we'll see if that works. Did anyone else put spaces? I don't know how you entered in. Okay, no one else put spaces. This is how they present the code, and it might just be for ease of reading on a screen.
I'm not having any luck. That's okay.
Okay, that's just fine, Lauren. If you want to participate, you can either drop your comments in the chat or just come off mute. It's really just to kind of start the conversation. So the first client scenario is about Suzanne. So Suzanne is a single parent who is struggling both financially and emotionally. She and her 6-year-old son, Robbie, have been living with Suzanne's boyfriend, Ryan. After being furloughed from his job, Ryan began drinking heavily and sometimes becomes physically aggressive. Recently, Ryan's anger has become worse, and Suzanne is fearful for her and Robbie's safety. Suzanne works in a restaurant and makes more than minimum wage with tips, but doesn't have enough monthly income for an apartment. With nowhere else to go, Suzanne and Robbie are now living in their car. Robbie has started to fall behind in school and is often bullied by his classmates for his unkempt appearance and for always asking for seconds at meal times. As the weather becomes colder, Suzanne is considering going back to Ryan, who is apologetic and promises he will get his drinking under control. So that's the scenario. Again, some of the main points are there on your screen. And then your first Mentimeter question is appearing now. So what are the key issues this family is experiencing? And again, you can also type them into the Zoom chat, or you can come off mute and we can just have a discussion, however you would like to participate. So I'm seeing financial issues, homelessness, food insecurity. So some big issues are facing this family. And then what are some organizations or programs that might be able to help this family? Just anything that comes to mind. The Women and Children's Alliance, shelters, food banks. Counseling. Great. So that was our first scenario. Oh, Salvation Army and Children's Home. Really good. It's great to see some specifics, some organizations that are here in the Treasure Valley that could help this family. So that was the first scenario. We have two more, so it's going to run pretty similarly. I'll read the scenario and then these same questions will appear. And it's again, just to get you thinking about where you might go if you were in this family or this person's shoes. So our client scenario number 2, at nearly 80 years of age, Laura has fallen into a financial hole. So after a predatory mortgage, Laura is facing the possibility of homelessness for the first time in her life. Her only income is from Social Security, and she does not have a safety net to help her through this difficult time. Laura does not have a great credit history and has been unable to find a landlord willing to accept her as a tenant. Instead, Laura has turned to staying in hotels. Though unsuitable, she has managed to keep a roof over her head through hotel living for the past year. Due to the cost of hotels and the inability to build a safety net, Laura's financial problems have resurfaced. This month, Laura suffered a fall, breaking her wrist, and had to spend the entirety of her Social Security on urgent care and prescription medication. This leaves her short on hotel rent. She and her beloved dog are 3 days away from being forced out onto the streets. Okay, so what are the key issues that we are seeing for Laura? Health, finances, solitude, not having anywhere to go, health issues, homelessness, a fixed income, financial issues. Great. So a lot of similar issues from our first scenario, but some specific health issues with this one as well. Okay, so organizations and programs that might be able to help Laura. Again, feel free to get specific here. We can assume in this case that she lives in the Treasure Valley. Section 8 housing. That's a great one. Probably some of the same ones that we saw in the first situation as well, possibly the Salvation Army. Some of the food pantries could help, get her some money back in her pocket. Government assistance, housing authority, Medicare. Great. Okay, we have one final scenario. And in this scenario, I want you to imagine that our client JJ is living in a rural part of Idaho. So thinking through a rural part of Idaho and what might be available in this case. So JJ is a 63-year-old Vietnam veteran. He's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes with long-term insulin use and multiple comorbidities. JJ lives alone in an old trailer on a friend's property in rural Idaho and doesn't have reliable transportation to pick up his prescriptions and attend doctor's visits. His daughter was recently arrested on drug charges, and the state has placed his 5-year-old granddaughter in his custody. JJ is now considering going back to work to help better support himself and granddaughter, but doesn't have the computer skills that many employees are looking for and isn't sure who would watch his granddaughter after school hours. All right, you should all be pros now. Same questions coming at you. So key issues that this client is experiencing. Transportation, childcare, and medical, 3 big areas of need. An insufficient income. He's now raising a grandchild he wasn't planning on. Childcare comes through as the largest one here in medical. Insufficient knowledge, needing more skills. Okay, now imagine that this client again is in rural Idaho. So organizations and programs that might be able to help this client. The VA. That's great. Knowing that he is a Vietnam vet. After school programs. School districts are a great place to go for help. The unemployment office. Boys and Girls Club. Great. Okay, so those are our 3 scenarios. Now I'm going to ask, do you think that the clients in these scenarios will be able to find the help that they need? So yes, not sure, or no. Great. So love to see that you all feel that they'll be able to find the help that they need, that we have a lot of great resources here in Idaho that they can connect with. And then what are the barriers to finding help? So this is where you can slide. So some of the barriers might be not knowing where to go. You don't know who qualifies, if you qualify for a program, getting to the help, transportation, finding the time to call or visit, and that places just don't have capacity to help, that they don't have enough funding, enough space to actually help people who are coming to their offices. Great. So we're seeing transportation as a huge barrier. And then also just not knowing where to go or if you qualify. Great. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you all so much for participating. That's the end of our interactive part. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and then jump over to the presentation. Okay, so I'm here today to talk about FindHelpIdaho.org. And FindHelpIdaho is part of a national network of resources. So some of you may have heard of just FindHelp, which is the network that powers FindHelpIdaho. It also used to be branded as Aunt Bertha. So if you ever heard about Aunt Bertha, this is the same thing. They just rebranded, and we frankly are glad they did, because FindHelp is a lot more clear about what's going to happen when you go to the website. So what we know is that it's hard to navigate the system, right? We talked about those 3 scenarios, and we know that people seeking services, seeking programs often feel like this is the journey to connect with those programs. So whether it be that you not know where to go exactly for the help that you need, or you call a program and they're not currently offering new clients help, you're getting on a wait list, maybe you don't have transportation to get to where you need. So this oftentimes feels like the journey to actually connect with programs. And what we know is that people sometimes get lost in this journey. So the barriers that are in place to getting help create a problem, because seekers sometimes don't actually get the help that they need to lead healthy and successful lives. And we know that the state of Idaho is really resource rich. There's tons of programs. They want to connect and help people, but that connection for piece is often in place. So FindHelpIdaho is trying to make it easier by removing some of the barriers. So the goal is to connect people directly to the programs that can serve them. And I'll share more later. We'll do kind of a live search to show you exactly all the tools and how easy the platform is to use. But everything is zip code based. So it's a really great search tool, because you're entering in your zip code. It prompts you to do that very first. And it's going to pull in resources that are actually closest to where you live. And even if you live on a border, so if you live in Idaho, but you're right on the border of Oregon, it's going to pull in resources across the border as long as they serve people who live in Idaho. So it's great. It's going to pull in services within 150 miles of your zip code, and then you can really narrow it down from there. And it's trying to connect you to the programs you need easily. So there are ways to see if the program's accepting new people, ways to see if you qualify, filtering down the results to just display the programs that are actually going to be able to help. Some benefits of using FindHelpIdaho. So it's free, completely free to you to use for searching, free for any nonprofits to be listed on the site. And so it's a great tool. We know that nonprofits typically don't have a big budget for resource navigation. And so this is a tool to help all of the nonprofits in our state. There's also no wrong door. So you heard me say find help. If you go to find help, all the same resources are still going to be in the system. Some of our large healthcare networks are also using Find Help through their own hospital systems. So St. Luke's and St. Al's, if you are at your doctor's office and you take one of the health screenings talking about the social determinants of health, if you have enough food, if you have stable housing, they are going to also be using the FindHelp network through their Epic database system to connect you to resources. And that's using the same platform that FindHelp Idaho is. It's private and secure, so anytime you use the platform, you can know it's HIPAA compliant, FERPA compliant, and HITRUST certified. So the same standards that are in place for our healthcare systems of sharing digital information apply to FindHelp Idaho. And then it's relevant, easy, and up to date. I'm going to show you how easy it is in a moment, but basically if you can do a Google search, you all got onto the Mentimeter, so you'll be able to use this platform just fine. It's relevant, meaning that every 6 months, the National FindHelp Data Team actually goes in and verifies that all the information in the system is up to date. So they're making sure that the phone number is still in working order, that the address is correct, that the services listed are the services being offered. So Idaho is unique in the way that the whole state is using this same doorway into the system. So FindHelp Idaho is not just for the Treasure Valley, it's for the whole state of Idaho. It serves the more than 200 zip codes that exist in our state. And it's made possible through the collaboration of a bunch of nonprofit partners. So those are on the screen. This is my little slide to shout out to all of them for their help. The Idaho Health Data Exchange is actually who purchased the license for our state and brought all of these collaborative partners together. So they're the reason that we're able to use this platform for free and share it out to all of you. So I am going to play a video now, and this is it's just a 1-minute video that's a very high level overview of everything that FindHelp can do. And then after the video, we'll do a little live demo and I'll show you exactly how to actually do a search. I'm hopeful that the sound comes through on the video when I play it, but if it doesn't, don't worry, there's actually no one talking. It's just basically elevator music. So either way, it should work. Okay, so that was a pretty high level overview of everything that FindHelp can do. And some of those tools specifically were for, let me just get out of this, hold on. Were for nonprofits. And so they're not going to apply to the training that we're doing today, but it's kind of cool just to know everything that it can do, that it's a great tool for nonprofits to also use it as a database if they need that kind of tracking for their own use. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen and we are going to talk through actually using the database. Okay, everyone should be seeing findhelpidaho.org now. Yes, perfect. All right, so this is the landing page. Again, if you were just to type in findhelp.org, it would also take you to a similar page where you would be prompted to search by your zip code. Some benefits of using Find Help Idaho, though, are we're actually able to help filter the results. So we know which programs are really relevant to people searching. We make sure that those go right to the top. And we also have the ability to add some additional services in here. So Idaho has specifically focused on mental health services. We've included mental health resources that accept Medicaid and Medicare. And usually just accepting Medicaid and Medicare wouldn't qualify a program to be listed in Find Help. So if you use the Find Help Idaho doorway into the system, you'll find some additional resources. Before we get started with our search, I like to point out that on the homepage here, there is the ability to translate this into more than 100 languages. So if you know someone who's looking for help and their primary language isn't English, they can go here and select a language of choice. And once you translate the site into another language, that translation will travel with you page to page. And if you request resources from Find Help, or you refer to a program in Find Help, it will correspond with you in your language of choice. So you'll be able to receive emails in Spanish, a text message in Spanish, and if a program reaches out to you, they would know you're a Spanish speaker and try to connect you with someone in your primary language. So again, it's prompting for a zip code first and foremost. That's so it can pull in the most relevant resources to where you are. And so you'll see here, there's more than 1,900 programs that pull up when I put in the Boise zip code. So those 1,900 programs, that includes really local programs, programs that are right down the street. It includes regional programs, statewide programs, and national programs that serve Idaho. And so any zip code that you type in, whether it be in Idaho or anywhere in the US, programs will populate. Again, it's a nationwide platform, and Idaho is just one of the states that's a big focus through Find Help. From here, you're going to see that you have the ability to type in a keyword or program name. So that's one way to find services. In a lot of our scenarios, housing was a big issue. So I'll show you if I type in housing. It's going to automatically filter and pull in about 200 programs that could help in housing. From here, you can narrow down your search results. So there's personal filters, things like age, if you're active duty military, your household situation, any special health concerns that you have. There are program filters. So whether it's free or reduced cost, everything in the system is either free or reduced cost, but if you need it to be completely free, that's always an option. You also have the ability to say how you'd like to interact with the program and hours of operation. So we know one of the barriers sometimes is that programs are only open when you're working. And so if you need to visit on the weekends, that's an option to filter down the results. There's also income eligibility. So people ask a lot if they're actually qualified for a program, and this can help filter those results. This is especially helpful for some of the statewide and national programs that are offered through the database. Then you can sort by relevance or the closest location towards you. There's also a mapping feature, so you can see where the programs are located. I know that that helps me because sometimes if something says it's 2 miles away, I can't visualize where that might be, but the map really helps put it into perspective. So you'll see it pulls in resources here. So we'll use LEAP as our example. And before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and log into the system. So you'll see right now that it's asking to contact LEAP, and some of the tools here are going to change once I log in. So logging in is free. Again, any information you share is going to be kept secure. All that you need to log in is either an email or a phone number, and then you create a password, and it's as simple as that. They'll send you a quick verification link to either your email or phone, and then you'll be all set. So now when we go down to LEAP, you'll see actually that contact changed to a refer. That's because FindHelpIdaho allows for direct referrals through the site. So the button over here is going to tell you the best way to interact with the program listed. Apply means that they have a form where you can fill it out directly on FindHelp, or refer is where you're providing information for yourself or someone else to the program. And when you make a referral to a program, someone from the program will actually be reaching out to you. So instead of you having to call or visit a program, you can know that your information and your request for help has been sent directly to the person at the program who operates the program, and they'll be in contact with you to follow up and let you know what action steps to take. So you'll see right here as well that this program's letting us know that they're near capacity. So in red on the program card, it's always going to tell you if they're near capacity, on a wait list, or completely full. If there's no red listing there, it means that there's no barriers in place, that they have complete capacity and are welcoming new clients. So when you make a referral, again, for yourself or someone else, I'm going to show you how it is for someone else because there's a few extra questions that it asks. It would say your name because you're making the referral, and then you would type the name of the person you're helping, give some basics, and again, some of these categories can be left blank, language that you're looking to interact in, and then the best way to reach them. And if they don't want to be reached out to, you can share that as well, but this would give the person at the program a heads up that someone would be calling them and that they would be looking for help. You can also add additional comments, so anything that you think would be helpful for the agency to know. And then this is what's important if you're referring someone else, so the confirm consent. Again, to be in compliance with HIPAA, this is the way that FindHelpIdaho does that. You say that you have the permission of the person being helped to share their information with the program. And so you would just send that on. This is live, so I'm not actually going to log a referral because I don't want LEAP reaching out, but it would go to the program. FindHelpIdaho and the programs that are listed have an understanding that 48 hours is the time that we are hopeful that people will be reached out to. So as soon as you refer to a program, the goal is within 48 hours, someone from LEAP would actually be in contact to get you the help that you need. And if you don't want to create an account in FindHelpIdaho, that's completely fine as well. As you saw, we got to this screen and got to the resource without providing any personal information. So you're always welcome to just use this as an electronic database, grabbing the phone number, email, website of resources and contacting them directly without providing personal information in the site. Does anyone have any questions before I go on? Okay, hearing none. Some other things that can happen with the program card. So you have the more info button. So the basic program card is here. The more info button is going to tell you everything about the program. So a description of the services they offer, who is eligible, languages, if it's free or reduced cost, how to interact with them outside of FindHelpIdaho, the date that the last review happened. So as I mentioned, everything's updated at least every 6 months. Different locations, so if they had more than one location, maybe they were also out in Caldwell, that would be listed, and then hours of operation. When you have an account within FindHelpIdaho, you have some other ways to interact with programs as well. You can save the program for later into a favorites folder. So you can create a folder, maybe you're looking at housing resources, you want to just save them into a folder to refer to later. That's an option. You can add notes. So these are notes just for yourself. If you called the program and you talked to someone great named Sherry, you could add a note there, and then you would be able to refer back to that later when you were logged in to find help. And then you can suggest edits. So if you know that something is out of date on this program card, you're actually able to suggest that edit to the Find Help data team. So if you said, you know what, they're actually not on Vista Avenue anymore, they moved there out in Meridian, you could send a message. Someone from Find Help would follow up within 48 hours to confirm and make the change. And then the next item I want to show you is the share. So this is one of the tools that's available whether or not you are logged in to FindHelpIdaho. So if you wanted to do this completely anonymously, the share feature would still be available to you. So share allows you to share this resource with someone, or you could send it to yourself through email or text or on social media. So when you are sharing a program resource, it's not providing any of your personal information. So in this case, it's just providing my first name and last initial. I would put the email address of the person I'm sending to, a quick message, the language that I want that email to go out in, and then send it on. All of the information, including the more info section of the program card, would go to the person that you sent the email to. Same goes for text message. You're not providing your personal information. You just need to know the person's phone number that you want to share with, and again, the language that you'd like that to be sent in. So talking through searching for resources, we know when someone is needing help, they often need help in more than one area. So thinking back to the scenarios that we had, people weren't just looking for housing, they also had healthcare concerns, food concerns, childcare concerns. And so when you are using the site to search, the best practice is to check the left-hand box of any program that you're interested in. When you check the box, those selections are going to populate at the bottom of your screen. And then as you search page to page, the selections will stay with you. So we started our search by entering a keyword or program name in this search box. You can also find programs by using the icons at the top of your screen. So the icons are the areas that we know people are looking for help in the most. And it breaks it down within every category a little further. So in care, you can find daytime care, and whether that's after school care, child care, adult care. So it helps narrow down the results right away, rather than taking a shot of 200 results and then having you filter them with some of the filters at the top of the screen. So we'll look at childcare here. That was an area of need for a lot of the clients that we looked at in our scenarios. You see Head Start pulls up. And again, you're able to do all the same things with these listings as far as interacting with them. And so now my selection stayed with me from the prior screen, and I can add on additional selections here. Again, going from place to place. I always like to point out that legal is a section of the site. We've had a lot of questions come in about people in housing situations where they're not sure if their landlord is doing things ethically. So you're able to get legal advice and aid resources through Find Help, also job site, job placement, job training, GED training. So it's not only for crisis situations, but really any free or reduced cost program that you might be looking for. So once you've gone through and you've made the selections of all of the different resources that might be of interest, you can click that box at the bottom of your screen. You'll see the 8 selected programs come up as a list. And then I'm going to show you the print screen here because it's pretty powerful. It pulls all of the resources into one place and you can print it off to take with you. So if you were searching for resources and you were somewhere like a public library, and you just wanted the information for later, you would be able to grab and print all the resources in one place. You also can save this list. So again, you can save all of the selections to refer to later if you have an account in FindHelpIdaho, or you're able to email. And the email again works whether or not you have that free account. Okay, that was a lot of information all at once. I'm going to pause and take any questions or go through any services that you'd like to explore. Okay, not seeing any questions, so I will go ahead. I did want to show you, we talked about saving favorites, so kind of wondering where that might go, how you would access that once you have saved favorites or interacted with the system logging in. So you'll see I'm back on the home page. My name appears here in the right-hand corner. So from here, I can go to my saved favorites folders. And again, I have a few different folders set up. You can have as many as you would like, and you can share that list with others. You can edit it, remove or add programs at any time, or print. And all of the resources in any of your favorites folders are going to update on that 6-month rolling basis, just like everything else. So if the Idaho Job Corps was to update their address, it would automatically update here in my favorites folder as well. You also can look at your search history if you're just someone who really enjoys looking at data, or you want to know if you're helping someone else, you know, what happened. You can see all of your searches that were completed in the last 90 days, areas that the searches occurred, what search terms were being used, any referrals that you made for someone else. So if you were helping someone else, that information will be there, and then programs that you reached out to personally. So as an individual, typically the data piece isn't as needed as an organization that uses it for grant reporting or board reporting, but it's still something that is available to you. So I always like to make sure that you know what it's about. You can also see referrals. So if you have referrals that you made, you can see what's going on with those referrals. Programs that you contacted. So just kind of a history of what's going on with your account lives here in the system. And you're going to see that the programs I contacted update the status of my referral right in the system. So Nampa School District let me know that my referral is pending. So they're looking into it. And then here in Austin, you can see that my referral got help. Additional questions? Did you guys know that this existed before today? No. Well, I would love it to hear your thoughts about it. That's pretty much the end of my presentation, but so that you all know, FindHelpIdaho is actually pretty new. So it just launched in our state on April 6th. So it's a new tool for our community. We're really hopeful to get the word out about it and get people using it. So if you're in it and you find that you like using it, would love to hear that. If you're like, hey, these programs aren't listed that I usually use and refer to, would also like to know that, because it's kind of a grassroots effort in the way that it's only as good as the data that's in there, and it's been a lift to populate it with all of the different resources and programs that we have in Idaho.
I know that I've used it for a couple of our participants in the past, and it's been game changer. It's amazing. So, because I'm not a social worker, I don't know, and I've only been in Idaho for 3 years. So it has been absolutely amazing.
Great to hear. Great. Well, I encourage you all to make a free account. Again, everything's kept confidential, and just go in and kind of play around with it. Again, it's nationwide. So if you have someone in your life who doesn't live in Idaho and needs resources, they can also find the resources through Find Help Idaho just by entering their own zip code into the system. And it's just growing every day. So when we started the project, I think there was 1,500 programs populating in Boise, and now you saw it's over 1,900. So it's going to continue to grow and get better, but really appreciate your time today. And I hope it's something that's of value to you at some point in your life. Maybe it's not today. Hopefully it's not ever, but someone you know probably could use it at some point.
Well, thank you, Anne, so much. I really appreciate it.
Great.
So,
Thank you all.
okay, well, if there's no questions, then you guys get some extra time back in your life, because I know I usually go over. So there's your gift. But let me stop recording.